Pranams everybody. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Mahamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So welcome to the 11th session. Today is the 11th day or 11th night that we are doing contemplation, deep contemplation on Bhagavan Ramana and Arunachala. We are naming this series as Arunachala Ramana Chintanam. We are doing deep contemplation on both these tattvas. So we are in chapter 5. Chapter 5 begins where Lord Shiva is sending Ambiga Harshaki to Maharishi Gautama, and she meets Rishi Gautama and says, "You alone have reached the other shore of the Agamas and Vedas, and thus have become dear to Shiva." So we are deeply contemplating on how Gautama Rishi is close to Shiva because he is understood the deep teachings of Shiva. I reiterated, getting close to Shiva doesn't mean physical closeness or winning favors. It simply means the purity level. The cosmic intelligence or the supreme consciousness is such that it can be misunderstood like us, because whenever we project anything on the cosmic intelligence, supreme consciousness, we impose our limited ideas. Because we have human minds, we start thinking everything humanly, including the gods. So we assume many things about the God's natures or supreme consciousness, something like us, because as we told, everything is our reflection. If Shiva is at that purified state, the whole samsara or whatever is around him reflects his own nature. So he takes no offense, is not disturbed by anything. It's his pure supreme nature of the self. So wherever, whatever experience he's having, he's just having the self experience through these objectified substances or objects, and a subjective experience through the objective. That's his reflection. So if you look from this side, our reflection, objectively we can look at the subjective, and it reflects back objectively only to us. In simple words, soul looks into the ego, but soul can only see the soul in the ego. Are you getting it? Same way, when the ego looks at the soul, it looks from the egoic point of view. It sees that even the soul has a ego. That is why we start telling gods did this, did that. They don't do it. Gods. There is a difference between gods and God. God is the supreme, what we are talking, from where all the gods came. Gods may do this and that, but the supreme one can never do. He's not a doer. That's the nature of the self. But when we look at any god or gods or goddesses, we impose our human nature on them. That is why you can look deeply around and you will see everybody is imposing their own fantasies. In every religion, they have their own imaginations or own concepts, own belief system. That belief they impose on God, and it reflects back to them, and they say, God said this, God said that, God did this, God did that. Whereas the fact is, God cannot be a doer only. So projections, however we look at, that is what we see. Different states of consciousness. One looks at the Guru, one sees the body, one sees only pure consciousness. One sees the human nature, and talks about Guru is angry, Guru is sad, Guru is upset, Guru is happy with me. One says Guru can neither be happy or sad with you, because happiness and sadness is not his guna. You only say Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. You worship, right? Bhav Ketit. He's gone beyond all the bhavas. Triguna Rahitam. He's gone beyond the Trigunas. Turyatitam. Gone beyond Tirus. So when he has no gunas, how can you say he's happy or sad? How can you say God is happy or sad with you? When you only say Nirguna, Nirakara is God. Nirguna, no guna. Happy with you is Sadguna. Angry with you is Tamaguna or Rajoguna. Angry with you is Rajoguna. Sad with you is Tamaguna. And he is none of these. Then why do we see God as that? Because we have three gunas. As per our reflection, we impose it on God and Guru. Anything that we look at in that manner. Why I'm taking the concept of Guru here? Because Guru, we say, is God-like. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. What is Parabrahma? We do not know what is Parabrahma. If we do know Parabrahma, then you are only comparing Guru to Parabrahma. Parabrahma is Nirguna Nirakara. You do not have any gunas. Then how can you say Guru is happy and sad? Half 90% is just belief. You're still not simmered into all these things. That's why I said, no, yesterday I was discussing. This up and down from Muladhara to Vishuddhi, this is what we keep playing around. All these beliefs and concepts and things like that. We have never penetrated and gone beyond it. So that is real spirituality, authentic spirituality. Which down I call it our glamour spirituality. Time pass, it's good. And in the start, it's all good. You need motivation, inspiration. Okay, fantastic. But after that, there is stuckness. That is Gati Nirodhakam. If you have to go beyond, then you have to contemplate very deep. And what you realize, you will see you only had caught wrong ideas, then you are not ready to give it up. Only when you give it up, you can transcend the Vishuddhi Chakra. Real spirituality begins there. Then only you come to the next level here. This down is all mind. That is what I said. Nirmal man. Shuddh man. Vishuddhi. Nischal man is here. When is Nischal? When the intellect is purified, the mind stills. Purified intellect. And that's what we are doing tomorrow's webinar. I just forgot about it. I keep forgetting about it. Morning I was supposed to, evening I suddenly remembered. Tomorrow's webinar is all on that Antakarana. This is that Antakarana. Antakarana is Mana Buddhi Ahankara and Chitta. Mana Buddhi Ahankara, Chitta are all called Antakarana. These faculties. That is mind, intellect, ego, and Chitta is memory. So these are the four problem creators in our life. Body has nothing to do. Body just acts on these four koshas. As these koshas, so my body. As I think, so I am. Whatever I think, whatever I feel, whatever I believe, that kind of body manifests for me. Body means practical experiences. Karma. Prarabdha karma. Karma is experienced by the body and mind. But where does the karma trickle from? Higher bodies. Karana Sharira, causal body. Causal body is where all the imprints of karma is hidden deeply. From there, it controls your mind body. What controls your mind? Yesterday we saw that light. Yesterday, if you were there for that 5 minutes prayer in the end, becoming aware of the light. That functions without your permission. It doesn't care to ask you. In fact, that light doesn't ask any damn thing about you, from you. It doesn't care for you. It is simply doing what it has to do. We have not seen that. Something is beating the heart without your permission. Did anybody ask your permission? Did anybody ask you before being born? You were just thrown into this earth, right? Let's just landed up here without your permission. You seek, deeply you see. Life doesn't care about you. In fact, nothing cares. You are just a byproduct. Thrown here without your permission, taken without your permission from here. And in between also, without your permission, many things happen in your life. You come without permission, you live without permission, you go without permission. What are you? Who are you? Who are you that feels I am the creator of my destiny? Deeply contemplate. Pierce the Muladhara from here and begin the deeper journey. Then these questions you have to sit and ask yourself. Here there is no more beliefs now, because you start asking, you start pondering. It is not to challenge any philosophy or path, or it is nothing to challenge, because that is also true. Whatever you challenge, so called you challenge also, you cannot say it is not there. That also is there. Karma Kanda is not there for Parvati after this. Shiva is telling give it up. But does that mean Shiva is telling everybody to give it up? No. He's telling to Parvati because she doesn't need it. So this concept, what I am saying, I am the creator, does not exist after this. Below this it exists. It is needed. You cannot tell everybody. You shouldn't go and tell everybody. Hey, you are not the creator. You can't help also. Nobody will believe you also. It's useless to even talk there. Don't even try. And no need to tell. But after a certain point, you will understand. Things will unravel to you. And then you will only ponder with your viveka. When your awareness activates, with that awareness, you will question everything. And then you will see that whatever we have been living is in a different kind of a hoax. We are just living in some beliefs. Why? Because we have not investigated. So you begin investigating. When you investigate, you will drop it. Only when you investigate. Till then, the actual journey has not begun from here. So never think that, oh, my journey, another guru will come and activate you and raise your kundalini from here. Leave this dependency of somebody will come and poke something or put you on gunpoint and say, better do sadhana. Enough of that. From after this, there is no this. Below that, you need rigorous reminders, and we are the pampered devotee or disciples or children. After that, no. Once you mature, then you take care. Under the care of your parents, till when? Till you grow up, right? You're a child, you don't know how to market, you don't know how to go to the market, you don't know how to buy things, you don't know how to earn, you don't know how to protect yourself, you don't know anything. You depend on your parents. But you have to grow up, right? One day you will grow up, right? Or do you mean to say that 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, you're still sitting in the lap of your mother and your mother is feeding you and your dad is paying you from pension and building a house, already built a house for you, and you're just sitting there doing nothing? It's ridiculous, right? Then why on the spiritual path we can't understand this? Why there the dependency? Forever and ever. So those who sit forever and ever, they'll be waiting for to be spoon fed. And they are going to be disappointed at every stage of their life. Because their belief will not work accordingly. They'll be constantly triggered, pressured, in fear, doubt. They're trying to hold their belief in one's end, and the other's end, they see nothing is working according to their belief. You don't know what to do. I find it very strange when these beliefs are shaking and somebody is waking up. The others who are scared will come and hold on and say, "You don't liberate yourself. You stay stuck." Why? Because I need company. What if everybody breaks and go, "What will I do here?" You're not going anywhere. Be with us. Let us all remain just praying, depending, hoping, waiting for that avatara to come. Let us remain lazy. In the name of our karma, our ill luck, ill fate, our helplessness, there are enough texts, there are enough dialogues to tell how hopeless I am, how helpless I am, how much of load and burden I am, how much of troubled I am, how much of victim I am. I need to be pacified. Wake up. जाग मुसाफिर भोर वही रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है. Kabir says, wake up now. There is no more night. It is light is come out. भोर वही रैन कहाँ अब जो सोवत है. Where is night now that you are still sleeping? Wake up now. And if you ask me deeply, there also nobody cares. You say, no, I don't want to wake up. You will be made to wake up. Do you see how we are waking up? Something wakes us up. Something illumines, something pushes us. Even though you don't want to. I tell you, nothing is with your permission. It's just happening. Something is making you do things. If something can make you born here and something can take you away without even knowing about it, why do we think in between everything we are in control? See, you come without permission, you go without permission. In between, what you believe, I am in full control, that is called Maya. Those who realize are surrendered. They don't need to win surrender. There's nothing called I surrender. That's another drama. You cannot surrender by saying. You cannot surrender by planning. No dialogues. Surrender has to happen to you. Literally. When you go multiple times through direct experiences and you realize, yes, everything is just working in its own way. Why the hell am I breaking my head with my lives and the lives around? The moment you realize this, you are free. Why is life a burden? Due to this ignorance that I am responsible for everything. How can I be responsible? I'm not responsible for my life, for my birth, for my death. What, in what scenario, in what way am I responsible? Look deeply, nothing is in your hands. Look very, very deeply. Awareness is there. Shift into awareness and look at it deeply. Being in deep awareness is sadhana. In sadhana, you break all the myths. Reality comes forth. You start living the truth. I say again and again, wake up and live the truth. There is nothing else to do. No practices to do. But yes, it's not easy also at the same time, because the vasanas, the tendencies, the impressions are so deep of the belief, of the old pattern conditions. They are so deep. You just cannot get rid of them. Okay, till then do something. See, tomorrow's webinar is that only. We do something. Still we are on the doer thing only. I have not gone very deep. In this whole year, if you see, 2025, I have not gone deep only. Deep I only have gone in the retreats. Retreats are the people who come, who have done enough work and come. And they know, they anticipate. Where retreat itself is a commitment, like 9-10 days. You commit that I leave everything behind and just be centered here. That's enough. That's a great worthiness. That's a great readiness. But sessions, YouTube and all, what is this? Cinema show. Hai. I don't do it because Arunachala Tattva is there. I'm just doing it now. Because it will help others also understand what this Tattva is about. Otherwise, I prefer Zoom sessions only, where only the ready people are there. No walk in, walk out, no time pass. Just see, thoda entertain karo, bhago. अच्छा लगे तो सुनो, whatever is pleasing our ego and comforts, we listen, and whatever is disturbing, truth is disturbing, run. So that happens in public platforms. Why we choose isolated and dedicated places? Because that the dedicated people will come there. Then real work can happen there. Okay, so this purity level of what we are talking, coming close, this purity is nirmalta. Mal, I told you, is ignorance. It's not dirt, it's not impurity, it's not negativity only. Even your good thoughts, good actions, good beliefs also are impurities. Because even the good activities will keep you in the sattva, and sattva you will multiply and you will create more punyas. The more punyas you have, you are still in punarpi janmam, punarpi maranam. You are not liberated. Yesterday, what I told Rumis, there is a realm beyond the right doing and the wrong doing. I'll meet you there. Wrong and right, not interested. Papa punya, not interested. Till now, this Muladhara till here, we are interested in punya, 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 punya. Okay, good. Because punya generates karma, good karma, generates grace, which comes handy when things are not going good. Because we have low periods, we have negative periods. At that time, our punyas come for help. So punya is recommended. It's not that we are talking negative about it. It's needed. But after a certain time, when all this balance sheet starts equaling, when you have got enough thrust now, enough pull to go, and enough self-dependency, self-reliance, which is again by grace of Shiva, when that happens, then you'll understand there is a zone beyond right and wrong. Beyond, you start losing interest even in punya, because punya also is doing good karma, good karma, good karma, seva, and all those things. Okay. The story of the Daruka forest in Gujarat, that is, I believe, right? Daruka one. I don't know where it is. In Daruka one, the rishis are sitting and doing havan. This was explained by Bhagavan Ramana. Murugnar, his disciple, was reading this part. And this is an excerpt from Shiv Mahapurana. So he is reading this story, but he gets confused because it's a very odd ending, not like the regular stories. So he says, I cannot decode this, only my Gurudev can do it, Gurudev Ramana. So he takes the document there and says, I can't understand this. So Ramana says, leave it there. And Ramana starts reading it. When he reads it, he gets crystal clear idea of the story, which I'm going to tell you now. From there was born Upadeshasaram. Then Ramana said, I'll add 30 verses. I'll make it, I'll add more verses, and some were added by his disciples and some he added, and 30 verses were formed based on this story. And that is called as Upadeshasaram, which is the very basis of our retreat, which is the very basis of shifting into awareness. In fact, we have the 18th batch next month, and February we have already started booking. 10 people have already booked, 10, 11. So that is going to be the 20th batch. So 18 and 19 batch we have now coming. First 4 batches that we did, 1, 2, 3, 4, were all Upadeshasaram. Only Upadesh Saram, nothing else. Whole retreat, 3 to 4 days. Now also the basis is Upadesh Saram, because Upadesh Saram is crystal clear clarity of the journey and where we are standing. Everything is crystal clear. If you understand this completely thoroughly, no iota of doubt, and doubt must go from our life. Some share. When doubt goes only, you can settle easily. Because of doubt only, we a lot of questions coming up. However, the questions will not end. Bhagavan says, find the questioner, find out who has the question, dissolve that one. The questions will keep coming. But in the starting stages, the questions are too many. We sit and simmer them down. Past 4 years, I've been doing only that, clarity sessions. Only clarity sessions almost every single day. You can say close to like 300 plus sessions every year, 2 hours each. People wonder, what do we talk so long? What are you listening to for so long? Same pit, 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 pit. Same lectures. They're not lectures. They are deep mysticism, deep answers. People ask questions, everything. I give them an option to ask everything, whatever they want, right, or directly on the camera and speak. Because your doubts must be cleared. Then you start settling down. You say, wow, wow, that's it. The wow factor is very important in spirituality. When you get an answer, when you start connecting the dots inside, everything starts connecting and many things starts making sense. That's how I've seen my journey opening up. And it's such a thrill. It's so beautiful when these things start popping up and opening up and you start getting clarity. And very mysteriously you get clarity. And then you know God, grace. By grace only. Timely they open up. So that is the essence of satsanga. What are we doing right now in these series? Same thing. We are not telling stories here. People come to listen to stories, but then they listen to these things also. Because in these deep stories are hidden the clarity of spirituality. And that is what we are seeking actually. Consciously, you might be seeking stories and some thrills, some spiritual entertainment. Consciously, but subconsciously, this is what you're seeking, the answers. You can see sometimes you don't have interest to listen to this also because they are very harsh. But still, you can't give it up. It's irresistible, right? Sometimes people who say, I have no interest, they still keep peeping. They have to peep. There is something irresistible in them. They don't understand their soul is pulling them to truth. Their conscious mind is battling. Anyways, I've seen all this. But I'm telling clarity, that clarity when it clears out, your journey is clear. So the disciple has a lot of questions. Murugnar had a lot of questions. He said, my guru can do it. He went to the guru, and then Ramana said, this is a great opportunity to elaborate on this story. See, that's how he sees the divine will. His disciple coming and giving it to him, he's connecting the dots. Things happen, unfold. Arunachala, he's sitting in Arunachala. Right? Some divine work is going on there, unseen work. You'll never see God appearing and telling and giving Upadesha. Never once also it will happen. Ramana is close to Arunachala. But then Shiva should have sat next to him and given him all the Upadesha and what has to be done, right? These are examples to tell us Shiva is there in everyone, everything. If you're alert and aware, you'll catch. That's how life unfolds. Ramana's life, you can see, unfolds. He is in the moment, and in the moment, whoever is coming, whatever is happening, he's just living that, and that became his life story. Isn't that wonderful? That became his teachings. There is no idea. He is not telling, tomorrow I'll give this lecture, next month plan my visit, or next month may build a pandal here and invite people. What he's just living. He's moving around, he's taking his walk, his regular Giri Pradakshina, whatever he's doing, or walking up and down the hill, or just sitting calmly. Whatever is his life, he's simply living his life. That is extraordinary if you see. There's no plan. He's just living a life like an ordinary person. But the activities, what happens in the day to day activity, the regular activity, that becomes divine. Even a casual remark that he might give to somebody, a glance he might give to somebody, it's something extraordinary because he is a bloomed being. Even that look, I'm telling you again, he is not intending to heal anybody, he is not intending to uplift anybody. It's nothing, it's simply a happening. Bhagavan Ramana has told this many times that a Jnani doesn't have sankalpa. They will never make sankalpa. That's the highest order. You go to Avadhutas, they don't have sankalpas for you. We keep imagining, oh, they will look at us, they will bless us, they will give us some totkas. These are all our dramas. They are not interested in it. But things, whatever happened to them, they are sitting in their daily life and living their life. You come across them, it is not an extraordinary event. For us, it is extraordinary because we are planners. We make things festive. We celebrate. We avoid. We have dosha. We have time. This is auspicious time. This is an inauspicious time. For them, what it is? No auspicious or inauspiciousness beyond the right doing and right doing and wrongdoing. They live in that realm. So for them, it is just an ordinary happening. Nothing extraordinary. For us, it is extraordinary. So when somebody is at that state of consciousness, they simply live, and because it's such a purified state, whatever happens to them, whatever they speak is all divine. Whatever they speak, that's why they say holy men when they speak. It's like Vedas, they're speaking. Their touch has divine power, their presence has divine power, their look has divine powers. Their intent, it is not an intent from free will, it is a passing thought. A thought happens to them. So whatever happens to them, they are fully there. So if they are with a thought, looking at someone with that thought, that becomes an intent and that becomes Shaktipat. But they don't sit and do that. They don't have idea of uplifting anybody nor putting down anybody. Whatever happens just happens through them. It is never by them. You have to understand this very, very clearly. Avadhutas and Jnanis have no sankalpas. They cannot take sankalpa. If they are taking sankalpa, then they are not in that state. Because for sankalpa, ego is needed. The I is needed. I want to heal him. I want to bless him. I want to uplift him. I want to do this. I don't want this to happen. I am not doing this. That I is there. That is not the state of Jnani or Avadhutas. Many times Ramana has clarified this. One day somebody came and sat in front of Ramana and some healing happened. I think it was this person who got affected went back home. He had taken some prasad and his child fell sick or something after many months far away. He looked at the photo of Ramana and there was the prasad. I think somebody gave or he only took that and the child got all right. It was very spontaneous. So at next occasion when he met Ramana, he was very happy. He went and touched his feet and said, with your grace, child was saved. Bhagavan said, Ramana said, Jnanis do not have any sankalpa, not even to heal. It happens. So that is the bhakti of that person. Because that grace is connected. When you think of that Mahapurusha, you are in alignment and then that connection happens. It does it. There is no one sending from here anything, doing anything from here. He might do, he might even send a thought, but It is what I'm trying to say. It's not their personalized thought. It is just a thought that fleets them, that moves through them. They are simply aware. Whatever one thought comes, they are aware of it fully. But since they are a bloomed consciousness, that awareness, that thought gets bloomed, multiplied. That is what you call as blessings. The blesser is absent in a jnani. There is no blesser. Saints might do it. Saints might bless. A jnani cannot bless. Jnani himself is a blessing. 24/7. Who connects to that blessing gets the blessing. Are you getting it? So, when the disciple took this document to Bhagavan and said, I'm not understanding, he said, leave it there. And spontaneously, as a spontaneous event, that is what this 10 minutes lecture I given that only. Spontaneity happens. And that from there, that whole story of that, the verses being written and Ramana putting his attention. Look at this beautiful thing. Ramana didn't sit and think one day in the hill and he said, I think I must compose some few verses for everybody. It should be good. Let me do it. Spontaneous. Somebody came in, out of that today what happens? So the story was that, and this is a part of Shiva Purana. I still wonder why this kind of stories are not told. We listen about all the Mahima of Shiva, what Shiva did, but not this. So the story was that the rishis are sitting and doing their havan in Darukavan, Daruka forest. Rishi and Rishi's wives, Rishi Patniya, and they are busy doing this havan. And Shiva has a conversation with Vishnu and says, what are they doing? They need to give a message to them. Something was to be conveyed to the rishis, but since the rishis are so busy in their havan, they cannot understand, listen to it. They have to be inward also, right? Karmakanda is always outward, and Karmakanda is linked with selfish motives, especially Havan. Havan is never selfless, it is something for me. That is why every Havan has Sankalpa. A Sankalpa is taken in front of every Havan, before everyone, and then that Sankalpa is what you put it into that ceremony. To get that fruit, you do Havan. Prapti, Dhana Prapti, Aishwarya Prapti, Shanti Prapti, Putra Prapti, Swastha Prapti, Arogya Prapti, whatever you call it. All Prapti it is. So a Sankalpa is taken and then you do it. Jnana Prapti. So Shiva wants to convey this is not the end. I mean, you're doing, okay, Prapti, but how long? The cycle is never ending. Shiva tells Vishnu, let's go down. So Shiva becomes a bhikshuk to play this Leela, a mendicant, a naked mendicant, a very handsome bhikshuk. And Vishnu converts into a Mohini, a celestial lady, very beautiful. They both come down and they walk through that vana right in front of the rishis. The rishis immediately get caught in the attention of that beautiful lady, not knowing it is Vishnu only. They get up, leave their havans, and chase Mohini, which is Vishnu himself. After going deep into the jungle, she suddenly vanishes. And the rishis are shocked. And suddenly they become aware and they say, oh, we have been fooled. Enchanting that was. They hurry back to their havan only to see the rishi patnis are not there, their wives are not there. On inquiry, they come to know that this bhikshuk, which is none other than Shiva, had walked in front of the ladies, handsome person, and the ladies could not hold themselves. The females got up and chased this handsome man, Husband chasing the beautiful lady, and the wife's chasing the handsome man. So when the husbands return, the rishis, they are very upset. They see their wives are not there, and when they look, they are following this handsome man, and they want compel them to come back, but they are so mohit. They are mesmerized by, because it's Shiva, right? Moh. They are gods, Shiva and Vishnu, both of them. So now when the wives are not coming, they get angry. First they got jealous. Second they got angry. Jealous. See, this nature is what we are focusing on again. They ran behind a lady and it was okay. But when the ladies ran behind the men, it was not okay. Jealousy. I understand this from the Gangotri, the Mahapurusha, who told me, don't be very much impressed with what you see in Himalayas. Work is in progress. Good work, not ordinary. Not everybody can go through this. It's very, very difficult. But still work is in progress. It's not yet complete. This is what it means, this whole thing. So when they don't come back, they get very angry. Now they want to finish off that handsome man. Prasad ka jad. And then they come to know he cannot be fought in that manner. So they get more bewildered, and then they use their siddhis, the rishis. Whatever they earn from their sadhana, from their havan fire, they start sending celestial weapons. First, they send a tiger that emerges out of that fire. The tiger is sent towards that man, who's none other than Shiva, and that man snatches the tiger skin, peels it off, and wears it around his waist. So, in similar manner, many tattvas, many objects are sent towards this being, but he is simply breaking everything, and one by one he is covering his body. And slowly they see he is taking the form of Shiva. And then they realize, oh my God, this is none other than Shiva himself. Immediately they go and fall at his feet and ask for mercy, ask for forgiveness. And they say, we didn't know it's you. And they wonder, why did he do this Leela? So he explains, Shiva explains, to catch your attention. Because you're not paying attention. You're busy in your karma kanda. When will the karma kanda end? Your havans. Now they justify it very nicely, saying that, but we are doing it for the welfare of the world. Like we say, no, in modern spirituality, we have to raise the consciousness of the world. We have to save the world. The entire mankind is going to doomsdays up there, and we got to save them. So the rishis say this havan is being done for the mankind, to save mankind. And Shiva says, first save yourself. When are you going to save yourself? Because the rishis are very clearly doing these for self gain, but they are saying it is for others. They are in chasing punyas because they are generating great punyas through these divine activities. With punyas, they accumulate it and they enjoy the celestial worlds, Swargaloka and so and so. To earn, to go into, take passport into Swargaloka also, you have to have enough bank balance of punyas. Then only you get a seat there, a flight there. So for that, you have to do a lot of punyas. I tell this many times. If your punyas are higher, you get the higher lokas. If your punyas are lower, or if your papa is lower, then you get lower lokas, next births. But to come to this bhuloka, you have to have equal punyas as well as papas. Then you get this loka. This is duality, both. So everybody who comes here have both. That is why they undergo the pangs of both. So the Rishi says it is for others, and Shiva gives them an Ubadesha there, telling them that they are caught up in the cycle of Punarpi Janmam, Punarpi Maranam, because any number of punyas you do also is not going to save you. It will earn you only more merits, and you go to heavens, you enjoy thousands or lakhs or millions of years there. But when you get exhausted from your punyas, you are again dumped back here. Again, you repeat the cycle. Punarpi Janmam, Punarpi Maranam. So he gives them the Upadesha. This will never liberate you. To liberate, you cannot be doing all these things, karma kanda. You have to go beyond it. Immediately, the rishis defend, saying that, but Lord, you are the one who gave this science to us. You have only given this. Uttar Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa. These are all the parts of the Vedas, the start and the end. So you have given us this Mimamsa, means this knowledge, this Gyan. And Shiva says, but I have given further Gyan also, beyond it also. You are saying one part of the Mimamsa, but I have the other part also. Why have you not turned the page? The first part definitely says you have to do this karma, do that karma. You have to do, because that's tapas. But on the second part, when you turn over, I say, now give up the doing. Why didn't you turn the page? No, I am using literal language. He will never say like, why didn't you turn the page? Why didn't you go beyond? Because they're all taught beyond also. Then they realize their mistake. So that is Shiva's correction to them, telling that any amount of doing will not give you mukti. The doing has to end, and you have to be. By the power of doing. Doing is not useless. By the power of doing, by the grace of doing, tapas sadhanas only, you get so purified that your viveka awakens, your chitti comes here, and this jnana emerges from you. And then you realize there is no amount of doing. From inside, you have Bohoda. You realize what is the truth. So, how did you come till this here? With that practice only. So, all the paths are needed. The gurus, all are needed. Different teachers. By the grace of the guru, by the grace of the paths, you slowly ascend. But the only problem is when you ascend, you can't go beyond because of the conditioning. We are so accustomed to the old conditioning, we are scared to let go of anything. And to bring that clarity only is Arunachala Tattva. Last 4 or 5 years, I've been doing only this work, nothing else. Devi Kalutra, Upadesh Saram. Look at all these stories, you'll understand. I keep talking only about this because moving from doing to being is the next leap. And whoever is ready for that transition will pick it up. Whoever is not ready will get scared and still remain in there. And that's fine. Scare means still there is work to do. Doubt means there is still work to do. Do continue more of tapas. You must continue whatever we must continue, whatever we are doing, automatically it will happen. You don't have to use your head also. Don't need to get worried, confused, anything. Just keep doing till you are interested no more. But when you're not interested and then you still continue doing, you know some habits in life, sometimes bad habits, let's say alcohol or cigarettes. You struggle, and one day then you don't feel like. Now there is no urge for you to smoke on a particular day or to drink also. It is not, see, these are all that happen to me, I'm telling. There is no urge, but then you end up again in the bar. There is no urge, you don't want to drink. In fact, you feel like puking that day. But you're sitting there. Pattern. The pattern takes you there. The old habit takes you there. So sometimes the doer is not happening, doing is not happening, but I will force myself in that doing. There is where you have to become aware of what it is. Why am I uh, torturing myself into this? Because of fear, because of lack of clarity. Then go and refer to the right tattvas. It will help you out. So Upadesha Saram is based on this, completely based on this. It is a path. Arunachala is a path of moving to being. No doing, no amount of doing will help. But that doesn't mean it's not there. You will see Karmakanda even in ashram, around ashram. Everything is there. You will see Ramana when he was there also, he was in it, he was not in it. Fark hi nahi padta. You cannot even say he liked it or he disliked it, he opposed it, or he was for everything. Something is happening, he will just be involved in it. Because it's just a happening. There's no, what you call, attraction. There is no craving towards it. There is no reason he wants to do it, but it's a happening. He's going through that. He doesn't need it, but still he's involved. So that is that detachment to even what's happening there, that state. So moving from mind to heart is what I call it. Tomorrow in the webinar, we'll be doing this again, because that, without that, you cannot proceed. You have to stabilize your beingness in your heart from the mind. You live more in the mind, very difficult. Live more in the heart, easier. Surrender comes from the heart, not from the mind. When the mind says, I am surrendering, that's another drama. It can never surrender. It will surrender now, next moment you will find it doing again what it has to do. It might claim that I am surrendered, but it will still be the doer, it will continue doing. So, surrender has to happen to you. So, yesterday I explained even about Vishnu, the Vishnu Tattva, which is deeply inbuilt in us. Brahma Tattva, we only, the creator. I am the doer. The doer is that Brahma, ego. Vishnu is another aspect of the ego, sustain. I have to maintain it. And now you can see the ego of both are blown out. You can see in the start also, Brahma and Vishnu, ego was blown out because they were quarreling with each other. Shiva came and showed them that there is something, they are arrived out of it. They are not supreme. They are neither the creator, they are neither the sustainer. In fact, they are being sustained and created by the supreme. See that fun? The one who feels I am the creator, Brahma, he's been created by someone. The one who feels I am the maintainer, he's been maintained by something. Understand that? So this is not about God. It is about us, the ego aspect in us, which starts believing that I am everything. I am doing it. I told you, no, nothing cares for you. Without your permission, things are happening. Study it deeply. So that was one aspect. Now again, Vishnu is telling, I went to sleep and everything plunged into darkness. The sages prayed to Shiva and Shiva came and the, what is that? How many koti? 36 koti. 33, right? Yeah, 33 crore devatas. The lights burst out. And I explained yesterday, those who did not attend, you can go and see yesterday's recording. What is that? 33 crore devatas. You'll get a clear idea. It is we only, all the beings. 33 crores broke out, pieces, big bang. All the 33 crore pieces are his light only. And Vishnu says, when I was asleep, Shiva appeared here. He created the world again. So what does he ask here? What remains for me or Brahma to do now? See, they have understood. Even without them, kaam chal jayega. I keep telling that, right? I, the creator of my family, I, the maintainer of my family, ludak jao, chalega. Without you also, creation will happen. Without you, everything will be sustained. It is only the ego feels because of me. And that is what suffers. That is what moha, the attachment, asati, all this happens because of the I. You realize you are nothing here. Here today, gone tomorrow. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला. जगदर्शन का मेला, जैसे पात गिरे तरवर से, मिलना बहुत दुहेला, उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, says Kabir. It's just like a leaf falling from a tree. You don't know where you are going to fall also. Pavan Karela. One gust of the wind will take you and throw you somewhere. That gust of the wind is our karmas. The Karana Sharira. We don't know where are we going to be thrown. Ud jayega hans akela. You are going to fly alone. Like the leaf on that tree. And you don't know where you're going to land down. But you're going to go alone. Then he says, you are going to fight with Yamdut. Yam is very, very powerful. But you're going to have Jamela with him. Why? Because you crave. You say, I created it, I did it, I maintained it, and then you can't leave it. Because you say I created it, your asati will be there, attachment to it. You say I maintained it, you're going to be connected to it. Then you're going to fight with Yamdut when he comes. Jam se padega jamela. Yam se pade jamela, he says. So you're going to keep fighting with him. Why? Because you're not going to accept that. Because you say, I created all these things. How can I leave these things? Without me, what will happen? How are these going to be sustained? What will happen after that? How are they going to take care of it? They are going to take care of it. Everything is going to be taken care of just like it happened before you arrived. There was a world before you arrived. There will be a world after you arrive also. मत कर काया का अभिमान, मत कर माया को अहंकार. Kaya gar se kaji. Body is like a fragile dewdrop. It can drop anytime. So one must never hold that pride that I am everything, I am the doer. Fragile is the body, fragile is life. Anytime you can be thrown off. And nobody knows when. So those bhajans of Kabir, if you listen, it's all this tattvas. It connects very deeply. So here he is telling what will happen. What is me and Brahma to do now? Without me, us also it's going. Exactly this is what our life story is about. Life will carry on. Because all the people we have produced, our bodies have produced. That's all. Our bodies have produced another bodies. You can never produce a soul. Your body, which produces another body, in your body a soul has entered. That is you, the Atman. Similarly, the bodies that you produce, in that body, a soul has entered. You have never produced that soul. You produced a body in the womb. Huh? Husband and wife, conception, they are exchanging their bodily fluids and they are cultivating and growing a human body, which they say is mine. But they don't even have an idea when the soul enters that fetus. They don't know also. Which soul, from where it is, what it is, no idea. Their idea is only that bija, that body, which they are doing in ultrascan every few weeks, claiming that is my baby. They are looking at the body. When the soul entered, nobody knows. Who is that? Nobody knows. They are studying the body. That is why till death, everybody looks only at the body. What when you say this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my child, what are you looking at? You're talking it to their bodies. You show their photographs of their bodies and say, this is my son, this is my daughter. Is that your son and daughter? Not that one. The one who lives in that. What you're showing is the house. Who's the tenant? We have no idea. Who's the tenant? We are simply playing with bodies because I am the body. All these bodies are mine. We say, and the bodies are sitting and weeping for each other. This is mine, that is mine, and attachments and all these things. You see how deep it is. So that comes from this tattva. Because I feel I am everything. And here Vishnu has realized, no, without me also, Shiva is handling everything. Shiva's light, he is producing everything. So that tames down the ego again here. So they are learning. So when they learn, Vishnu prostrated before Shiva and repeatedly saluted him, asking him for grace for the mistake that he did, for his ignorance. And Shiva blesses. And how does he praise? You who destroyed the three cities, O Shiva. All deeds are performed by thy will alone. See, that's what we are saying. Thy will be done. Divine will. He is the creator, supreme creator. Vishnu is also telling, Brahma is also telling. Vishnu and Brahma are we only. One day we will realize and tell, we are not the doers. We are not the maintainers. You only do everything. These all are our tattvas only. Again, I repeat. These are all come in this format. The glory of the Lord. The Lord is giving self introduction to you through these things. And that is the purpose of the glory of Arunachala. So he's telling Shambhu, please forgive me. And Shiva then says, I abide on this form in this earth as Arunachala. One look at me and you will be redeemed. One look means not just that look, that real look. When you look means look through your third eye. Third eye is what we are seeing. You don't look at it as a hill. Like you say, this is my son, this is my daughter. What are you looking at? Bodies. When you look at Arunachala, what are you looking at? The mountain. Is that child the body? No. There's an Atman in that. Is that hill the hill? No. There is an Atman. There is awareness. There is consciousness. So when you look at the hill, you look as consciousness. When you look at your son or daughter, you look at consciousness. Your people around, you look at consciousness. Asati chala jayega. You look at your guru, you look at consciousness. Asati, attachment will just go. Expectation, this, that, all dramas will just fall off. But to see that, you have to first shift into awareness. You have to live in awareness. You have to be in presence. Only the presence can see a presence. Body can see only bodies. Presence will see presence. So for that, again and again I say, practice being and living in the presence, divine presence. Tomorrow's webinar, we are doing that. Living and establishing yourself in that presence, because then everything becomes presence, your reflection. So he says, previously also this has happened. Shiva says that once the earlier Vishnu, this is a different Vishnu, the earlier Vishnu of another era, he also had worshipped me as light, Shiva as light, because that was earlier time, before it becoming the hill. At that time, whichever Vishnu was there, they meditated and he also got absolved, he got liberated. Same way, this now is supposed to contemplate on the hill, which is the gross form, but it is the same effulgent light also. So in all eras, whichever light form or whichever eras, yugas you take, and multiple repetitive creation that happens, all these, how many were there? Uh, 96 times. 96 Brahmas and Vishnus previously came and went. 96 times the whole thing happened. So whenever that happened, they all got absorbed only by contemplating on Arunachala as the Tejolinga. So Vishnu then did his austerities, went to the Brahma Tirthas, and then he circumambulated, did reproduction and all that things as per the advice, and then he also got rid. He attained lordship. Means that yuga also dissolved. So next, what I told you was I'll just keep reading. They are just stories, and you can. There are a couple of them. Sun or the Surya, the lord of all planets, in an attempt to cross over Arunachala, lost his splendor and could not proceed on his heavenly orbit. He then, on the advice of Brahma, worshipped Arunachala, whereupon he regained his strength by his grace and was able to proceed on his course. Since then, Surya does not pass over the red hill around it, but it goes around it. So I see sometimes whenever we are talking these stories, people are rapt. But when I go into the depth, they're distracted. Again, they are waiting when the story will come back. Then they are doing this. And purposely, I keep pumping that only. I wait for people to come listen to this. At that time, I put the thing. So this is one more story where the son tried to go on it, on the hill, and it could not. But then it, on the advice of Brahma, it worshipped. Even Surya Devata worshipped it. Now it doesn't go like that, it goes around it. So it spins around Arunachala, the earth, in this manner. Further, the son who was harassed by the asuras or demons devoutly worshipped the Lord of Arunachala. He bathed in the holy Brahmatirtha and circumambulated Arunachala. Thereby, he conquered all the asuras and gained ability to circumambulate Mount Meru also. He also acquired the power to outshine all the other celestial luminaries. So, all these tattvas which are there are the other aspects within us. 33 crore aspects within us. We are just talking about the highest ones. Highest, the starting points. Brahma, Vishnu, that's the ego parts. We are talking only maximum about Brahma, Vishnu, Parvati, Gautama Rishi, all on that topmost part. But if you go down, there will be many, many such kind of tattvas which you can sit doing it. But I don't think that really needed to contemplate upon, because we have already come to the core. So we can concentrate on the higher tattvas. All that we need to concentrate now is on the Ganapati tattva, the Murugan tattva, the Shakti tattva, and the Shiva tattva 4 in the family. That's the family. You can see the family photo. We put a family photo in our retreat hall, and I tell it's a beautiful family photo of 4 sitting. But these represent deep tattvas of our life within us. They are all there within us. Shiva is within us as us. Parvati is within us as us. And the Ganesha and the Kartikeya, the two children or sons, one sitting at this end and one sitting at that end. One, you start your journey with the blessings of the first one, Ganapati, and you end your journey with the blessings of Murugan to reach the Father. You can see the family is involved. So for us, I think that much is more enough. These all you can sit contemplating. In Parashakti webinar also, I explained the whole of Durga Shapsati. But in Durga Shapsati also, I told you all the asuras which are there: Shumb Nishum, Chandamund, Madhu Kaitav, Raktabij, Maheshasura, and one more is that Dhumralochana. All these in depth I explained. The 9 asuras, they are all within us. They are all deep tattvas within us. There is no asura somewhere outside having the horn and teeth and those things. These are the devils inside us only. The horny devils and the ones with the teeth that bites, and eats and drains, demonic forces within us, asuras within us. And within us only there is an awareness, the uninterrupted awareness, which is Bhairavi, Jagoma, when you say, it is this that rises, your own consciousness. Mother can never jagofy from outside and come. When you look at an outside force and worship her, your inner force activates. Microcosm you do, microcosm the effect is. That's what happens. I explained this in Durga Shapsati, what is to be done. That webinar was very powerful. Many of you were asking for it, but we could not, because in Parabhakti and Paravani, these 3 were very, very powerful webinars. But it said once in a year we'll do that, especially during Diwali time. So it's a powerful one. But I don't want to keep it in the courses, because I do not want anybody to access it. Courses anybody can sign up. I want only those who have done deep work to have access to those. It's not good otherwise. Anybody just accessing it and trying to do it. So the other, Chandra, the moon, who was harassed by the curse of Daksha Prajapati, worshipped Arunachala as advised by Shiva himself and regained his form, Agni, fire. Although tainted by the disease of consumption under the curse of Brahma Rishi, was cured by worshipping. There are deep stories, okay, many, many stories. You can Google out and find out all these stories. and then connect with your inner tattvas. They will have something significant. Next, Indira had incurred sin by slaying Vritra, Bala, Paka, Namuchi, Jrimba, who had in ancient times obtained boons from Shiva. These are again asuras. You look very deeply at asuras, they will gain some boons, and very cunning boons those are. All the asura, all the stories you see have one common thing. Cunningly, they will deceive and take some boon, in which 100% it will be they cannot be killed. Isn't it? They don't want to die, they want to be immortal, asuras. But you will also see that one flaw will be there. So one flaw will be there, because the boons are given in such manner. Boons can never be given like, I want to be immortal and live in. No, there is a clause to it, fine print. You ask anything, but one factor, death is there. Now, how cunningly you are going to avoid that is the whole thing. So one asura says, I cannot be killed in this loka, that loka. The one says, I cannot be killed by a man or a woman. Then Narsimha has to come and kill. He is neither a man or a woman, or the animal or a man. All these, what can be beautifully seen is whatever you try to dodge, asura, one clause will be there, because the cosmic intelligence is more clever than this clever asura. Every clause you see, something will be broken. Now, Tarkasura, he cannot be killed by the son of Shiva, and he knows the Shiva cannot produce any son because he is sitting, Sati is not there. So, cunningly, he says, okay, it will be granted, tatastu. But some bandobast will be there already in the cosmic intelligence. It already knows. It has the solution, but the asura doesn't know it. In the end, it will get killed. So, Murugan was born from the third eye. He said it should not be born because they are separate, but Shiva creates it from the third eye. Whatever you see means, third eye means awareness. When awareness is born, awareness kills ignorance. Ignorance is asura. Are you getting it? Third eye only awareness is born. From here, Viveka, it is born. Shanmukha. That is the whole story. So all these asuras you see who play the role, something or there. Yesterday we understood about who was that? Tilottama, I guess, where Brahma created her, because there were two asuras who had got the boons that they will not die, except when they can only kill each other. And since they are so loving and connected with each other, they say, we cannot kill each other, we are forever. So nobody other than ourselves can kill us. That is a boon that they got. And Brahma creates this beautiful lady and sends in front of them, and now they both fight for it. So beautiful, they want to possess it, and they will kill each other. So you see, there is always this flaw, something or the other, by which the divine cosmic intelligence takes care of it. Bhasmasura, you can see, he got the boon that nobody can kill me. Whatever, what is the story of Bhasmasura? He kills himself. Whatever he touches bhasmifies. He gets that power. Whatever I touch must get destroyed. I wonder why God gives all that. They are very deep if you contemplate. Because the consciousness simply gives you the power to, and what you do with this is, so you self-create miseries. You create your own pits. We create our own pits. God doesn't do anything. God is given equal, same power to everybody. When Ravana did tapas, Ram also did. Both earned. But what they did with it? Shiva didn't tell him to do this or that. Shiva didn't tell Ram to do this or that. Shiva didn't tell Ravana to do this or that. He blessed them both. What they did with it? Their karmas created their downfall. or their upliftment. That's the whole essence of what we must understand. So Bhasmasura also, you can see, finally he wants to kill his creator only. God wants. And then you see Shiva running. The story they show, Shiva is running and Bhasmasura is chasing him. Now, can Shiva run? Is the question. He was so powerful, why will he run? So, if you look at these stories, they look funny, but they are actually reflecting our own self. We create our own pits and then we run away from our own problems. बोलते हैं ना, हम खुद ही अपने खड्डे में गिर गए. We create our own troubles and then we only run from ourselves. So Bhasmasura was killed by himself. There Shiva had to do that tactic. So similarly, you can see all these. So you need not take too much of interest in which asura, what asura, how was he killed, which weapon was used, Sudarshan Chakra was used, or a Trishul was used, or a veil was used. Doesn't matter. What we are trying to understand here is everything is destroyed, destructible. Means every asura in us will find an end, has to find an end. There is no mercy. That's how it is. So we can concentrate on that aspect. Then studying the asuras. Studying the asuras is only to know our flaws, but the remedy is to see how we can uproot it. So Indra had incurred the sin by slaying, killing something and all that in ancient times. And he had lost his vigor and kingdom. As directed by Shiva, he worshipped Arunachala and in the prescribed manner. And he got rid of the sin. Afterwards, he performed Ashwamedha Yagya and pleasing Shiva thereby regained his status as the Lord of Devas. Again, he came back to that position which was there. These positions, Indra, on the different positions. We have the gods within us. They are all in certain positions. The goodness in us and the badness in us. Sometimes the goodness falls by the power of the asuras or the badness in us. Then the goodness also keeps suffering. Do you see that? The goodness in us also is running helter skelter. Traimam. You do so many goods, but the wickedness of the world or your own wickedness slowly catches it out. Even the gods within you are sometimes helpless. Then they need to invoke the higher power called Shiva. Then help comes from there. So you can see the whole Mahabharata happens in this Brahmanda. This is called Pindanda. Next, the serpent Adishesha worshipped the Lord of the Red Hill and acquired by Shiva's grace the strength to bear the earth. The other serpents, as well as the Gandharvas, Siddhas, Apsaras, and Dikpalakas, obtained the boons they desired by worshipping the hill. The Devas who wished to conquer the Asuras paid their obeisance to Arunachala and obtained his grace. In ancient days, the Devas who had lost their limbs at the sacrifice of Daksha gained new limbs by the grace of Arunachala. Sukra, Aruna, a king named Pratardana, a Gandharva named Pushpaka, and many others expiated their sins and regained their original forms by worshipping Arunachala, such in his glory. So you can say all are taking remedy from here only. The only one remedy, Rambana. I can say in Durga Shapsati, what does Parashakti says? I am only going to come in the Akhanda, not in the Khandit. Durga Shapsati cannot have the powers. When you invoke the Parashakti and you say, I want to fight my neighbor, I want to fight that guy who did wrong to me. So it is to kill my enemies or take over. In these things, the Parashakti is not involved. The lower Shaktis and lower gods and goddesses might be there, favoring you or not favoring you, but they are all very conditional, all these Shaktis. They give and take. You have to give, then you will receive. If you don't give, they know how to take. It's all a different circuit. Parashakti is not into this. Parashakti is a supreme power. It comes only for the highest goal, Mahayuddha of Durga Shapsati. It comes only for the highest goal. Only if you are invoking it. What is the highest goal? To get rid of all these things, to go beyond all these things. No more, any more Khand Vibhajan and all that. Akhand, to into one, where your intention is to unite all everything and become one with that supreme. There the Parashakti comes. So you can see Arunachala in all these stories, whatever the thing is, the ultimate one remedy, Arunachala. You can see all these Devi Devatas, starting from Brahma to the lowest, they've all worshipped Arunachala. What does it mean indirectly? In the end, everybody has to come to Arunachala, says Bhagavan Ramana. Now you get the meaning, right? Whatever asuras in us, whatever good, bad, ugly, whatever is there, it finally has to come in the Mahayagya, into this Tejolinga. Everything has to be converted literally into this fire, into this light, every darkness. The land within a radius of 3 yojanas, means approximately 30 miles, of this place is famous as Shiva Bhumi. So, this land, 30 yojanas around the hill, 30 miles approximately, is known as the Shiva Bhumi. Those who reside within this limit will certainly attain liberation. In olden days, the 7 rishis who were under the spell worshipped Arunachala, regarding him as their lord. The Lord of Arunachala thereupon redeemed them. Grateful, they dug a tank near the hill, bathing in which all the sins are removed. So there is another story of this. All the Sapta Rishis, they built a tank there because they also got absolved. They were under the spell. What spell can the Saptarishis be? Spell of Maya, illusion. So by worshipping Arunachal only, they got rid of it. So Saptarishis, if you remember, in the retreat we go to the temple near the Ardhanarishwara temple, and that is where the Ardhanarishwara temple is. Where if you see that 7 rishis are sitting, huge ones. When, if you remember, I told the Saptarishis of the south are different and north are different. They are actually the Rakshakas. They are the Palakas. They are the protectors, not exactly the um, rishis. But you can see even from the 7 rishis, Sapta rishis, they also worshipped here. Who is left here? A sage who was lame came to Arunachala hoping to regain his legs. Praying mentally with the crutches in hands and knee worn out, he proceeded to the bank of the river Sona to quench his thirst. Having left his crutches on the bank, he began to drink the water. At that time, someone pretending to be quenching his thirst first threw the crutches into the water and then asked him angrily, "How dare you come to Arunachala with crutches? Why do you need them?" And then he disappeared. The lame man at once regained the use of his legs. With folded hands, saluted Arunachala and proceeded towards his house. Other noble devotees of Shiva marveled at this miracle and saluted the lame sage who had regained his limbs. So, the story of a sage who came without limbs, without legs, he came with his crutches and he was about to drink water. Somebody came from there and threw his crutches and say, "How dare you come to Arunachala with crutches? Means you should be all right. Why do you need these problems? How dare you come to Arunachala with your problems?" He threw the crutches and he could walk. Vali the son Vali the son of Indra once tried to pass over Arunagiri while traveling from Udayagiri, the hill of sunrise, to Ashtamanagiri, but lost his strength and fell down to earth. Then Indra, his father, came and told him that this was no ordinary hill and extolled the greatness of Arunachala. Upon this, Valli worshipped the linga of effulgence and regained his strength. Now, this is another story. The son of Indra also got redeemed here. Nala, who was a personification of Dharma, worshipped this hill and ruled his kingdom in a just manner. He was transformed into a woman for entering in the garden of Gauri. Not knowing why this has happened to him, he asked his guru and, on his advice, worshipped Arunachala. He regained his original masculine form. Somebody, Nala, I don't know. Nala or Nala. Nala. personification of dharma, worshipped this hill, ruled his kingdom. He got transformed into a woman when he entered the garden of Parvati, Gauri. Not knowing why, he asked his guru, and then, on advice of the guru, he worshipped Arunachala and he became a man again. I think this is something very deep to do with the gender, what we talk man, Shiva, feminine, Shakti. So, man means we are Shiva, we become Shakti, right? We become feminine. We regain our form to Shiva. That, see, that's the whole thing here also. Soma advised to think of Arunagiri always, did so, and obtaining by the strength of his austerities the Lord's grace, he got rid of his curse and also attained a state of unattainable even by the immortals, Amaras. Hari felt great sorrow on account of his separation from his consort, Lakshmi. But on the advice of Saint Sage Brigu, he worshipped Arunagiri and got over his sorrows in all his incarnations. Saraswati, Savitri, Sri Devi, Bhudevi, and all other goddesses and the rivers were blessed and attained immortality by the grace of Lord Arunachala. Now you can understand whatever tattvas you take, all is coming from the center, right? So it's very easy to understand now. All are blessed, and whatever their stories are, all these different stories are aspects of us. Like one I've just pointed out, masculine becoming feminine. Bhagavan Nityananda used to say, no differentiation, everybody Shiva. And he used to never look down upon a woman or a man. He used to never have gender bias. Avdutas can never have gender bias. They look at the Atman. And interestingly, Nityananda would say, I think somebody must have told about a man, Mard kaun hai, who's the man. So on that he must have told. When Nityananda said, the one who remembers his great purpose, his real purpose of liberation, and who works towards it is a man. The one who does not work towards it is a woman. Means how much our muscles you have, how much your mustache you have, whatever power you have, everything you have, but if you are not working on your self-realization, your purpose, you are a woman, what Nityananda says. So even if a lady or a woman, gender wise, is working towards self-realization, he says that is a man. Do you see? Because in our this we say women is weak and timid and this and all. Nityananda says if one is working towards self-realization, that is a real man. And the one, even if a man, exactly this is the word, even if it is a man, but is not working toward the final goal, then that man is a woman. Surya abides under the protection of Arunachala in the east, Vishwamitra in the south, Varuna in the west, and Trishula Deva, the lord of the trident, in the north. These four gods dwell on the hill, which are at a distance of 2 yojanas, and do obeisance to Arunachala. The gods who dwell in the four corners of Arunachala bow down to Shiva, who abides in the form of Arunachala. On the northern peak of the Arunachala, there is a giant banyan tree. Maheshwara sits beneath it in disguise of a Siddha. Its shade extends to a long distance around it. Even the gods look upon it in wonder. This hill shines with 8 lingas placed in the 8 quarters and is worshipped by the protectors of the respective quarters. These are all very deep, very deep tattvas within us. It says on the peak, northern peak of Arunachala, there is a giant banyan tree under which Maheshwara sits beneath it in the disguise of a Siddha. This somebody, one of my friend had told me, Jacobai, let's go there. There's a banyan tree there. I think I have visited it before, but when I asked him why, he said Dakshinamurti Lord is sitting there. And we can go and find out. How many of us can see Dakshinamurti there? I didn't go there. But the thrill of the story, see, on the hill, northern peak of Arunachala, there is a giant banyan tree. Maheshwara sits there in the guise of a Siddha. He is only considered to be Dakshinamurti. In this hill of Arunachala, there is Dakshinamurti sitting here already. That is to be worshipped. That's the meaning of it. And then there are different gods in different locations and positions. I'm not going deep into all this mysticism. Even the gods look at it with wonder. This hill shines with the 8 lingas. This is the ashtalingas that we are talking about in the Giri Pradakshina areas. The 8 lingas are there in the respective quarters. These there is a wish fulfilling bakula tree in this place. There is a bakula tree which is wish fulfilling, like the Kamadhenu. There is a tattva within us which fulfills all our wishes also. That zone is what manifests. There is one zone within us that can do that. So this is the outwardly. The sage Vamadeva is reputed to be performing meditation under it. Agastya and Vashishta worshipped the Lord of Aruna. In ancient days, Sonananda, the son of Hiranyagarbha, performed severe austerities and made the Ganga appear here. That holy river now flows here as Sona River. The river, the sacred river named Vena, flows around the hill. Bhagavan Marut bathed in the holy tank of Vayu in the quarter belonging to the Vayu and became life breath, prana of the world. See, these only are giving hints. Bhagavan Marut bathed in the holy tank of Vayu, holy tank of Vayu, holy tank of air in the quarter belonging to Vayu and became the life breath, prana of the world. Now at least are you getting it? The mysticism? In the air only is prana. In the tank of Vayu. Where is the tank of Vayu? You can see this Bhutakasha is full, the big tank of Vayu, air. In this only, Bhagavan Marut, he bathed in it and he became the life force, prana of the world. See, in this Vayu there is prana. Now do you understand? These are all mysticism in our own deep lives to connect to it. Either you connect through this, but the only risk is if you get into this, you can get lost in it. That's the only thing what happened with Purana. Whenever the Puranas were read, outwardly people went to it. And then came image worship, stone worship, idol worship, and that got distorted. These were all beautiful tattvas, the Puranas and the Agam Nigam Shastras, very, very beautiful and powerful to reflect us back to ourselves. But what happens is, in ignorance, you get carried away with it. Then idol worship and all became very prominent. Then came another rung of people who abolished it. Do you see the whole thing? You see, in every yuga, there are certain kind of people, the sages, the rishis, and then gods. Then there are avatars. Then came many saints who began worship. See, the worshipping was not there eternally. Worship also has grown. External worship. It appeared. It was not there eternally. Worship. It came later. Slowly, it started with the worship of the elements in the start. People worshipped that time. Where were all these things? They just worshipped the sun god, the fire, the Vayu, the air, the water, rain, and the Prithvi. That's how they started. And slowly, then it deepened. They started getting objectified. Then more diversities, more religions, and more faiths. And then it simply got more and more diversified. But the originality is from where? See, original It started from nature worship means what? Panchamahabhuta. That was God at one time. When your consciousness is there, it is there. But when it goes down, it goes into more grosser things. So many saints, there were many revolutions. You can see saints also came in many. You can see even there was a bhakti uh, uh, time when Mirabai was there, and Sant Tukaram was there, and all this bhakti marga. In Maharashtra, you could see a great belt. Even in South India, Manikavasagar, and there are so many other great saint devotees who used to sing the praises of Lord. In the Periya Puranam, you can see all intense devotees. Today, where they are? Do you see with the time, a rung of chain of event happens very similar, and then it transitions. It's not the same. Then more of idol worship came, temple worships came, mosques and churches, and this objectified so much. And then it went into Murti Puja, strong into idol worship. Then another rung of sages came, or divine people came, who abolished it. जिन्होंने विरोध किया. You can see after that saints, one rung of Avadutas started coming. Suddenly, there was a time when only Avadutas were there everywhere. You look carefully, in just 100 years, you'll see this whole thing. One is all bhakti movement. You'll see all the saints singing bhajans and like Namdev and so many of them. And slowly that phase fades out. Then you'll see a patch of all Avadutas coming in. And Avadutas are coming and giving the real Gyan. And they are trying to move you beyond the idol worship. Like you see in Chidakasha Gita, Bhagavan Nityananda is saying, stone worship or idol worship is due to Maya, ignorance. God is not in the stone. It is simply Maya. It is due to illusion that the worship of the stone and the images are happening. So Bhagavan Nityananda, Avaduta period. These are all Avaduta periods. You'll see all Avadutas never talk about any religion, any gods, nothing. Now who's doing this? Who's managing these circuits? Somebody comes, this happens, somebody comes, that happens. The whole set is coming. That is what we are telling, the play. As the play is going on, so new entries are coming, new things happening, new changes happening, new transformation happening, it passes away. Right now you see a different phase. Like Bhagavan Ramana's entry began the opening of the real wisdom, the non-doing. You see, at that time only Nisardat Maharaj was there. At that time Jiddu Krishnamurti was there. Jiddu Krishnamurti is like that only. Kala Bhairava Tattva is Jiddu Krishnamurti. We should not judge them like, oh, he is different. They are all parts, Amsha of Shiva only, playing different roles and going, awakening, illumining people. What is meant to be at that time, all levels. Whatever changes, fine tuning, tweaking, whatever tweaks has to be done in the play of consciousness, something or the other events happen. Who's the doer? Did Jiddu or Osho or did Ramana or Nityananda or Swami Samartha or Shirdi Sai Baba just decide anything on their own? No. They are also mere instruments. Nothing happens with their will. So you can see that surrender. Bhagavan Ramana's life and all you see. Even they don't know what's happening. He doesn't know. He has no idea. You look at the whole charitra of Bhagavan Nityananda or Ramana, you'll never see that they have an idea. They don't have an idea. They're just living in the moment. And things are just unfolding. And they are okay with whatever unfolds. This way, that way. No I. They're not deviating. They're not changing any plans. They're just going with the flow. Means something else is making them do. So if those giants, something else made us do, who are we? We sit here saying, I am the creator. I do everything on my own. And great Mahapurushas who redeemed themselves, never spoke about the doing. They all spoke and guided about non doing. That is why they reached where they are. And that is why we are where we are. So, this is the end of this chapter, chapter 5. I didn't go into deep of these stories because there are many. Now, the chapter 6 says the glory of the various tirthas around Arunachala. So, I'll be just reading through these tirthas, tirtha sthanas, and worship and all that. I'll just see whatever is important because there are so many. I simply don't want to overload ourselves with this wisdom. Anybody wants to go deep can definitely buy this book. You get it online in Ramana Ashram, The Glory of Arunachala. I'm referring this book. So if you want to go deep and study this, you can definitely do that. I am doing it with a certain purpose that's unfolding. So I'll just stick to that point, and because we have to return back to our main work. Okay, we are not going to get stuck in these things. These also should help us reflect back to us. So tomorrow, whoever is doing the webinar are most welcome. You can sign up there, shiftingintoawareness.com/events. So as I told you, next Sunday there will be nothing. We will be doing these things only. We will be doing follow-up practices of whatever. So those are all free sessions. Follow up. Let's see how many follow-up sessions. And only if there is seriousness we do it. Otherwise, they're all complementary. Okay, follow-up sessions. Webinar is the main thing. After that, we depend on the collective consciousness. We go according to that. Whatever it is, if we do this thoroughly for around 2 weeks, then we can prepare for that Tripura Rahasya Sadhana, what I said. That will be on 20th or 21st. I don't know. Whichever Sunday comes, 20 or 21st, that Sunday, we will have that Tripura Rahasya Sadhana where we will deepen an understanding. Before that, 2-3 sessions we will do on Zoom. We'll not be doing any of these sessions on YouTube. It will be all in Zoom. In case you are interested, you can definitely join shiftingintoawareness.com/join, and you will get the links internally only. Okay, because these are all very deep and you need commitment, and I need to know the people also. It's not just for a random. Here it's okay. Why I did it was because new people will always, who are connected only to Arunachala and Ramana, they will benefit from here. You need not go deep into these practices also. Just information also is good. But if you feel you are inclined, you're most welcome to join these webinars and deeper sessions. And if we do these webinars, then you are eligible towards retreats also. Retreats is again not for everybody. It's only for people who are fully dedicated to Bhagavan Ramana's teachings and the Arunachala Tattva, which is there of beingness, which is pure awareness and effortless actions. Okay, and those who are ready to break down all the concepts and give up the doership, and that takes some time for us to realize. When we are ready, then we proceed from there. So Tripura Rahasya Sadhana is that's 3 states of what I said. Not just information, we sit and actually practice those 3 states, and then we try to bring it into our daily lives, those kind of practices which will help us establish awareness in the 3 states of consciousness. Tomorrow's what we are doing is all on the intellect. Ma Gayatri's blessings. Ma Gayatri blesses the intellect, Viveka Buddhi. She is the one who grants Viveka. Though the awakening of Buddhi and Viveka in us is this tattva of Shakti, a part of Shakti which is given a name called Gayatri. These are all names to deep energies and consciousness. I explained this in Parashakti. Ma Lakshmi, Ma Kali, Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati. These 3 forms, the 3 Shakti, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, these all are symbolism. These are all a certain force within us, a certain energy within us, a certain intelligence, a certain level of purity consciousness within us. They are so subtle that it can be only experienced. For study's sake, these forms or these states of consciousness or these energies were given a nama and a rupa. So that divine energy which moves in us, there is a certain amount of energy, like if you sit in deep awareness and the karma rises in you. Karma is desire. It's a very subtle force that starts rising. If you are attentive, you will see it all the time in you. In some or the other way, it will be playing. That only becomes your intelligence. That only makes you create something. That only makes you passionate towards something. That only makes you move towards a certain career. That only makes you marry, reproduce. That only makes you go within and ascend. It's the same force. But if you sit and observe, you'll sense it and you'll experience. That is Ichha Shakti. So Aham Shakti in me is one aspect which rises if you pay attention. Now that only has been given a Nama and Rupa. Uh, it was named as Ichha Shakti. It was named as Kriya Shakti, that which moves in us. There is one Ichha that rises, and then after that Ichha, the things move within us. The prana moves, the body moves, the energy moves, the muscles move towards that direction. It makes you do Kriya Shakti. And you will also observe a certain amount of wisdom which is already there within us. The wisdom to go outward or wisdom to come inward. If you go outside, the outside knowledge, the jnana of the world, that also is Jnana Shakti. But you move inward, there is another Gyan, how to annihilate this Gyan and the Gyan of the self, knowledge of the self, Atma Gyan. Both these in and out is Jnana Shakti. So these have to be deeply experienced in practical living. That means you are awakening that particular consciousness within you, which you might name and call the Ma Kali is awakened in me, Ma Saraswati is awakened. When there is divine wisdom that is brimming from you, which is awakened, you have touched that part of consciousness, which is divine wisdom, which is Saraswati. So you say, I have the grace of Saraswati, the grace of that consciousness. Now you call it Saraswati, Nama, and you have to give it some form because the ego loves to catch Nama or Rupa, otherwise it cannot understand it. Because the awareness has not become so fine to experience it. When we cannot experience it, we need a name and a form, Nama Rupa. So when we say Saraswati, immediately a Shakti clad in white appears in our head, and you can connect to that and have bhava, devotion. Do you get that? And you call that Saraswati, the Dakshara, the sound. It makes a sound. So those divine sounds, when you utter the words or the mantras of that Shakti, that awakens that consciousness within you. So Kali mantra, a Gayatri mantra, a Gayatri awakens and cleanses the Viveka. Viveka is our tattva, the awareness. It cleanses the buddhi or intellect. So Ganapati, Ganesha mantra, cleanse your mind so that it purifies the intellect. Ganapati mantra, it removes the Vigna. Where is Vigna? In my mind. Manhi karta, manhi bhokta. Mind only is the creator of all the obstacles. So to remove that, I need a Ganesh mantra. So by practicing that Nama Rupa of that force, there is one force within us, the Ganesh Tattva, which can absolve that ignorances within us, that Vigna, and clean our minds, purify our minds. Chitta Shuddhi, that is Ganesha. And Chitta Shuddhi happens, obstacles go. Clean mind, Nirmal mind. The energy flows very easily. So you call that grace of Ganapati. Similarly, every tattva is like that. Shakti, you call it Durga, is one force in you. If you deeply see, there is one very raw force in you that makes us do raw things. Aggressive, anger, vengeance or fight and flight mode and all this. This is that Durga Shakti in us This is definitely not that tattva of Saraswati. Yeah, Saraswati also is playing there because you need intelligence in that also. They're all together. So, and they are not separate. They cannot be called this is a different zone. The Saraswati tattva is sitting here, and this. They are all so mixed. It is all subtle, so subtly inside they are functioning, all interblend like Shiva and Shakti is together. They cannot be separated. This is all Nama Rupa you have given so that you can separate it. You call this masculine, you call the feminine in these two forms, but they are together. They cannot be separated. That is why symbolically you show this figure so that you understand the inseparable. They are one and the same. You can see the halves. The half together is one being. So Shiva and Shakti is like milk and the sweetness of that milk, or honey and the sweetness of that honey. You can never remove the sweetness from the honey. But how do you define the honey in that liquid form and the honey due to which it is sweet? Very difficult to separate them. So you term them as honey and sweetness. Name, Nama Rupa you have given it. That only Shiva and Shakti. When they both are together, honey, it does its work. Similarly, milk does its work. Every tattva is a mixture. Air, for example. Air is a mixture of everything here. What can you separate this air from? Prana is flowing in this air. Now, can you separate air and prana, what we studied just now? Inseparable, right? But to differently segregate and contemplate on them, you give them a nama, rupa. You call it prana, you call it air. And then you can give different names as gods also. Prana Devata, Vayu Devata, Agni Devata, and Jala Devata, Prithvi Devata. So these components of consciousness only has been given Nama Rupa. Similarly, from top to bottom, everything is energy. Different energy. They are all functioning so beautifully together, but they look different. But they are all one energy only. So one force, like your organs are there, different organs. You know, in deep spirituality, when you go deep, every organ has a devata. Every petal has a devata. Every chakra has a devata. It is not some god sitting there. It is the nama and rupa given to that. This chakra, when it vibrates at this frequency, that frequency has been given a name and a nama. That frequency, how does it sound? Lam, dam, sham. These are all the sounds of that frequency. You give it a nama. Nama is not enough for the mind of people. You want a roop also. Then you give deities sitting in that petal. That is a symbolic representation of the nama rupa, of that state of consciousness, that vibration, that frequency. Every organ has a devata. You go deep and see every organ. That is why in Murugan Kavacha, Skanda Kavacham, when you do, or Guru Kavacham in South India, when you do, you actually worship every single part of your organ. In one of the retreats, I was doing one of our sessions, deep, the illumination of all the organs and activating the consciousness. We do it on consciousness, but that day Raj Lakshmi came in for juice, to give us juice, and she sat there waiting because I had not okayed it. So she was sitting there waiting in the back, and she also started doing it, what we were doing. And then after that session, she met me in the evening in Ramana Ashram, and she came, sir, one thing I wanted to tell you, I didn't catch up with you that time. I said, what? She said, thank you so much. For what? Oh, you did Skanda Kavacham today. I said, what is that? A Murugan Kavacham. I said, I didn't do anything like that. Hey, today's meditation was that. I said, is it? I said, what is that? Then she said, exactly what you told was exactly the Guru Kavacham, Murugan Kavacham, Skanda Kavacham. It is read, and she explained step by step. I said, wow, yeah, that's it. So one is you give Nama Rupa and do it. That becomes a religious kind of activity. One is you go beyond the Nama Rupa and start experiencing it directly. And that's what we are focused on experiencing. So when I say Tripura Rahasya Sadhana, I don't mean any name forms. I mean direct experience of what is beyond the name and forms. Are you getting the whole point? The three Tripura, that's three states, Jagrit. So we experience the Jagrit, we experience the Supna, we experience the deep Sushupti, and we experience these in and out while doing those meditation. How are we coming out, in and out, going into sleep, dreams, and waking up? It's not a one time event, but it's a practice. When we develop little by little, you start having mysterious experiences. You don't need to actually sleep on your cot and have dreams. Many times when we are doing the retreat session and all, many people have dreams when they are sitting with their spine erect. And they say, what was that? I'm seeing dreams. I was meditating. Dreams are coming. Definitely, it will come. So all these experimentations, what you do, and you realize and you understand how everything is within. So this can be done at the lap of Arunachala only during our retreats. What better place with His grace? We are only called. They are the doers. We are pulled there. They are advising us in whichever way they are guiding us. I went little about today. Yeah, anyways, I was talking about the intellect. Ma Gayatri is particularly about the intellect. So we will connect with that tattva tomorrow and do those practices to purify the intellect. Because if the intellect is purified, that is the buddhi, viveka. What does Shiva say? Mand buddhi, dull intellect. So that has to be awakened, polished, and simultaneously the mind has to be purified. We purify the mind, we purify the antakarana, what you call the mind, the intellect, the memory, and the ego. Mana buddhi ahankara chitta. These four are called as the antakarana. And if you see, basically, antakarana is dominating our life. And each are interconnected with each other. So if we understand this and if we begin illuminating and destroying it through the tattvas that we know, Kala Bhairav's grace, and blow it up one by one, purify things. And eventually, if you do it regularly, consistency is very important. You cannot attend one webinar and say something. You will experience a release, you will experience a change, transformation, but that's not enough. You have to keep the dynamo moving so that repeatedly you flourish, you clean up the system. If you do it for a couple of weeks to months, you'll see great release is happening, and suddenly you'll see some changes and leaps of consciousness. But consistency is important. So here in Shaktopaya, we are dealing everything on awareness level. All these practices are done with awareness, deep awareness. So tomorrow we'll contemplate on that. We will contemplating on activating our light body, which we have done before also. That light body is the Divya Sharira in us. We have the Yoga Sharira, physical body. We have the Nada Sharira, the vibrational or emotional body. And we have the light body called the Divya Sharira. These three bodies are, again, as I told you, they are all intermingled. You cannot separate them. We call it as one being. So I might say we are one being, but in that being, lot of activity, a lot of things are there. You never know where you can't separate the mind. You can't separate the prana right now. You can't separate it from the body. In the body, prana is moving. The Atman also is there. Everything, all these tattvas, buddhi is there, and intelligence is spread out. Every kana, every cell has intelligence. Every cell has prana. Every cell has light. Every cell or every particle in us is filled with everything. You cannot separate it. Every cell has the Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. You cannot separate it. Every cell has the Shiva and Shakti, both together. You see it, the whole functions of here, inseparable. So to dissect these and feel it one by one needs refined awareness. Are you getting it? That's the power of the buddhi, viveka. Because by viveka only you can first segregate the falseness and slowly move towards the satya. And when you come close to that point with the help of your viveka, Maya Gayatri's power, then you drop even the viveka. That zone which is towards the self, there no viveka also works. But viveka is to bring your consciousness to that level, to bring it till here. This is viveka, this point. From here, when you go up, everything is dropped here. But you cannot drop everything here. As you come up, you have to keep dropping all concepts and everything. We should be clear. And from there, when you come here, you are almost nullified to such a state that there is no belief system that you are living in. Absolutely no belief system. You're not clinging on to any concepts. You're free from that. So that is the time when you're ready, when you just make an intent of turning inward, everything then just crumble. And within seconds to minutes, you're in deep meditation and samadhi. This is what we practice in retreats. Within seconds to minutes entering it. In day 1, day 2, day 3, it is difficult. But all those who have attended will see that. Fourth day, fifth day, as I just we begin the practice, and last time we counted 8 seconds, heads go down. What is that? Emptying of all the concepts. You're so empty that one shift into that awareness and you're there. So that needs some time. That is why we do all these webinars and purification, release, and all that. Okay. So tomorrow will be one opportunity for us, 12 to 5 p.m. I'm connecting it with here because I couldn't do the private session. I was thinking of doing a Zoom session for the people of tomorrow. Then it was so late. I said this, we had already promised that we'll go with this. So I said we'll do it. So this last few minutes are for the people who are doing webinar. So I'm sorry I had to combine it here. But the follow-up sessions, webinar will be on Zoom, and the follow-up session all will be privately only done. So I'll ask the team to send you the links before 10 o'clock and try to do the registration before 10. Do not delay it after that because nobody is there to look after the mails and all that. So you'll get the link. Ensure that you get the link before 10 a.m. So those who are attending, we'll see you tomorrow. Those who are not attending, we will see you on Monday. Monday 9, we will continue with Arunachala Tattva. So those who are only focusing on this, I'll see you. We'll meet on Monday. Those who are meeting on webinar, we'll see you tomorrow for another deep session. So let's become aware of the Tattva within us that guides us, protects us, leads us. Let's become grateful to these Tattvas. Arunachala Tattva, Bhagavan Ramana, Lord Shiva, Ma Parvati, the whole tattvas through which this divine wisdom reaches us, and so brilliantly orchestrated. No one can think, no human mind can create all these things. It's impossible. Just deeply think about it. Can a human mind write all these glories like Mahabharata, Ramayana, and so many aspects in so much of depth? It's not possible by human minds. It's possible only by divine powers. So let's contemplate on that, which descends down for our good. The subtle wisdom becomes the gross wisdom. What we are learning right now is gross wisdom. But hidden in that gross wisdom is subtle wisdom. So that wisdom makes place for all of us. Whichever state we are in, the Lord Shiva, assures that the divine wisdom is delivered unto us. And every child of the Lord can understand the Lord in his or her own ways, whichever level we are. So in the grossest, there is subtlest. Let's become aware of this tattva and the blessings and grace in our life. Starting right from Shiva, transforming Shiva, which is completely, absolutely invisible and subtlest, nothing. From that appears something, the light. From there, the whole creation. Then Guru becomes Shiva becomes the Guru, Dakshinamurti, the invisible Guru. From there, many Gurus born, all the Guru Tattvas. Let's become aware of Shiva playing the role of Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti playing through all the Gurus. Let us become aware of all the Gurus in our life, through which the same light of consciousness of Shiva flowed through. Nothing but Shiva consciousness. Through great Mahapurushas like Bhagavan Ramana Nityananda, influenced at all levels, physically, subtly, through all the Gurus, and still continues to do in so many ways. If you pay attention to the light, it flows through all objects and people and things and incidents, light playing itself out through these tattvas. Put your attention on that light, that pure awareness. Meditate on that. Be one with it. Be surrendered to it. Fall in love with it. Develop deep devotion towards this. Then you see everything else is just instruments of this consciousness. So, gratitude, the feeling of gratitude for realizing this so subtly, by which I know that this presence is always in my life. I am safe, I am protected, I am well guarded, well guided. I was brought till here on the journey. I thought I did it, but I realize I was made to do it. That which brought me till here shall lead me to the final goal. For that I feel deeply blessed and grateful. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadayachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed, may we all evolve, may we all be free. Arunachala Shiva.